do. We're going to take our case for reform to voters of every background, in every party or narrow party at all. And with your help, we're going to Washington to shake things up. Now, John McCain is a guy who's been through a few tough fights before, and he has served America in good times and in bad. He knows what it takes to overcome great challenges, and he's the only man in this race who's got what it takes to lead our country. Remember, it was just about a year ago when the war in Iraq was looking really bad, and the consequences of failure would have been terrible. Defeat at the hands of al-Qaeda in Iraq would have left millions to a violent fate and left our own nation much less secure. Some in Washington had said that all was lost in the war, that there was no hope for victory. And some said there was no hope for the candidate who had said he would rather lose an election than see his country lose a war. The pollsters and the pundits, they forgot one thing when they wrote him off. They forgot the caliber of the man himself, the determination, the resolve, and the sheer guts of Senator John McCain. But you all knew better. The American people understand there's a time for politics and a time for leadership. There's a time to campaign, and there's a time to put our country first. He's a man who wore the uniform of his country for 22 years. And John McCain refused to break faith with the troops who have now brought victory within sight. I'll tell you, as the mother of one of those troops, that is exactly the kind of man I want as Commander-in-Chief. Now, for his part, our opponent, he still can't acknowledge the coming victory in Iraq. And he couldn't just yesterday, even in an interview. He said he's for change, but in Iraq, change happened. And that's a great thing for America, Senator. So here is how I look at the choice that we face in this election. In politics, there are some candidates who use change to promote their careers, and then there are those, like John McCain, who use their careers to promote change. Americans, this is a moment when principles and political independence matter a lot more than just a party line. He doesn't run with the Washington herd. He's willing to shake things up in Washington, and that is only one more reason to send the maverick of the Senate to the White House. Senator McCain has called the two of us a team of mavericks, and he knows that we've done some shaking up there in Alaska. As mayor, I shook up the old system and took on the good old boys. I reminded people that government is not always the answer. In fact, too often, government is often the problem. So we got back to the basics, and we put government back on the side of the people. I eliminated taxes on personal property. I eliminated taxes that were hurting small businesses. Property taxes were just too high, so I cut rates, mill levies, every year that I was in office. And these reforms worked, and we took off. As governor, I brought the same agenda of positive change then to the state. We took on the old politics as usual in Juneau, and we broke the monopoly that had controlled our state, and that was the special interests and the lobbyists surrounding the big oil companies. We came to office promising major ethics reform to end the culture of closed doors, self-dealing. Today, that ethics reform is the law of the state. mayor and as governor, I tried to lead by example. So as mayor, I took a voluntary pay cut, which didn't really thrill my husband. And then as governor, I cut the personal chef position from the budget, which didn't really thrill my kids. And then I put our government's state checkbook, I put it online for all the world to see. You're going to see every penny that we spend up there. So, doing that, though, of course, it didn't thrill all the bureaucrats. But, okay. And then the luxury jet. It came with the office, but I put it on eBay. So, I came to office promising to control spending, by request if possible, but by veto if necessary. Today, our state budget is under control. We have a surplus. I had put the veto pen to nearly $500 million in wasteful spending. We suspended the state fuel tax. And now that we have a surplus, and I'm returning a chunk of that surplus straight back to the people because they can spend it better than government can spend it for them. We gave their money back to the hardworking Alaskans, and in these tough times, I'm ready to help John McCain bring tax relief to all Americans, to all of you. I championed earmark reform. You're going to hear about this from the senator, to stop Congress from wasting public money on things that don't serve the public interest. I told Congress, thanks but no thanks for that bridge to nowhere. If our state wanted to build a bridge, we would build it ourselves. Just the other day, our opponent brought up earmarks, and frankly, I was surprised that he would even raise the subject at all. I thought you wouldn't want to go there. In just 3 years, our opponent has requested nearly $1 billion in earmarks. That's about $1 million for every working day. So we've reformed the abuses of earmarks in our state, and I'm ready to help President John McCain end these corrupt practices once and for all. Through competition, as governor, I got agreements to build a nearly $40 billion natural gas pipeline that will help free America from foreign suppliers that do not have our interests at heart. And look forward in a McCain-Palin administration, we're going to expand nuclear energy, expand our use of alternative fuels, and drill now to make this nation energy independent. Security and for our prosperity, we need American energy resources brought to you by American ingenuity and produced by American workers. You know, Missouri, our opponents lately, they've been going on and on about how they always fight for you. But since my running mate, he's not going to say this on his behalf, let me say it for him. There is only one man in this election who has ever really fought for you.